Underperformance or poor performance can include several things. Of course, it can mean that somebody is not achieving their goals and fulfilling their tasks and duties in the role. And also they might do their task, but not to the required standard. And so they might be missing details, or they might be sending documents out with lots of mistakes, or they might just not put enough effort into the outcome. Another form of underperformance that they show disruptive or toxic behavior. Or maybe they fail to comply with workplace procedures. For example, something like health and safety procedures. What are the risks of underperforming employees? If you do not address underperformance timely and quickly, then it can have some negative implications for you and the team. Your overall performance of your team might suffer because you have one person that really drags everyone down. The team morale or team culture might suffer because people might get really frustrated with one person that are not doing what they're supposed to do. And it can create feelings of resentment and unfairness and really bring your culture down, and therefore also then lead to lower engagement of your team members. There might be a reduced trust in you as their leader, because if the rest of the team does not see that you are actually taking their issues seriously or that you're treating everyone fairly, they might start to not trust you anymore, which will then have an impact on your relationships with them. There could be health and safety risks, of course, if they do not follow certain procedures, and it could have serious impacts on somebody's safety. And of course, you can have overall business risks if somebody is not doing their job properly or to the correct standard. Could have impacts with regards to your clients and stakeholders and overall company performance. So it's really important that you as a leader do not ignore the issue. You want to make sure that you address it as soon as you can, so it doesn't even become this big thing that nobody wants to talk about, this big elephant in the room. Very rarely do these situations solve themselves. Yes, sometimes underperforming employee might move on by themselves and apply for different roles, but most likely they will stay and they will create all these mentioned issues that can have an impact on your high performance. You will feel resentment, you will feel frustrated, and your energy levels will drop, and it will cost you a lot of emotional energy to not bring it up. Whilst you might feel like having this conversation with an underperforming employee, especially if you have been ignoring it, if it's been going on for a while, you might feel like starting this process now will feel way too big and exhausting. Not doing something will actually cost you way more energy because it will go on for a longer period of time. So trust me, it will be more exhausting if you do not address it now. The best time is now, and it's important that you choose courage over comfort. As a leader, it's one of the most important principles. The second thing is really reflect on your contribution. There's always a part that you play as a leader as well. And I know this is not easy to hear necessarily, but there's always something that you have contributed to this issue as well. Number 3, have a two-way conversation. You get to share your view, but you also have to listen to what the employee has to say to determine the real root cause and to determine what happened and what they need. Key thing number 4 is to keep it confidentially. Really respect this. Make it discreet. This is a very, very vulnerable process for an employee to go through, and you want to make sure you treat them respectfully and kind and manage this as discreetly as you can. And the last and most important key tip to remember is to follow up regularly. The success lies in the follow-up. As I said before, one of the key things and the most common issues for underperformance is actually that expectations and goals have not been set properly. So if this rings true for you, you might want to watch this video where I share with you how to set expectations with your employees effectively.